Hi, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Monica if you're new here. I have had a month. February was just not my month. There was a lot going on. It was like one thing after another, just piling on top. And because of that, I was in a very low place. I have not had a month like that in a very long time. I was in a rut. I was in a slump. It was like a constant state of worry, stress, anxiety. It put me in a borderline depressed state. And I have not felt like that in so long, like not since back when I had my implants and my depression was really bad. Because I was in such a low place, I was not doing anything other than laying on the couch and trying to distract myself with my phone and reality TV. Stress and anxiety can do a number on your body. So the past few days I have really been trying to get myself together, get up, get moving, and just feel better. So I want to talk a little bit about what was going on, but I also want to show you some things that I do to try to get out of a rut. And I just want to say, when you're going through a bad time, you might look around and be like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, things could be worse, but your feelings and your emotions are valid, and it is okay to take time to process them. And if it puts you in a rut, that is okay. Before we get into talking about everything, one of the first things I did to feel better was just doing my hair. And it might sound silly, but you'd be surprised at how little things like that can just get you up and going and give you a little boost. My morning coffee is something I always look forward to. It's just like my comfort. I get excited to drink it. But in order to not feel crappy, I know that I have to drink a lot of water when I wake up and have something in my stomach before I drink coffee. So I'm going to drink some lemon water, and then I'm going to make a smoothie. Of course, one of the things I always try to do to feel my best is to focus on eating whole foods. So protein powder is a processed food, but we have spinach, kale, and blueberries, and then I just put some water in there, and it actually tastes really good. Come over here. So February started off rough for me, like from the jump. To give a little backstory, a few months ago, I was having like intense breast pain. I had been having slight pain on and off for a few months, but on this particular day, it was very intense. Like to the point I was considering going to the ER. So I made an appointment with my gyno for like a regular visit. She did a breast exam and said that the right side felt a little bit more nodular, which can happen around your period, but that she didn't feel anything concerning. But given my mom's history with cancer, she said we can go ahead and order some imaging. So beginning of February, I went for my breast ultrasound. I opted out of the mammogram because I was told by another doctor that if they see anything concerning, they do the ultrasound anyways. So I figured, let's skip the mammogram. I can skip out on some radiation and just go straight to the ultrasound. So I'm getting my ultrasound and everything is fine on the left side. She's doing my right side and I notice her like stop and start measuring. So I look at the screen and I see like a big black circle. And I immediately knew it was like a cyst or just something that wasn't supposed to be there. So she takes pictures of it, measures it, and then moves on. And a few minutes later, she stops again. I look up and there's another black mass on the screen. So naturally, I'm freaking out. And she's like, oh, it's probably a cyst, but we'll see what the radiologist says. And this one looked different than the first one. The first one was round, and this one was more like oblong. So I get dressed and I hear the ultrasound tech on the phone with the radiologist. And she was like, can you look at the right side? There was 2 spots of concern. And she goes, the patient just recently had an explant. And I hear her going, an explant, an explant. Like removing the breast implants. And that made me freak out more because this person that I'm trusting to read my breast ultrasound doesn't know what an explant is, which is a common breast surgery. So that was unsettling. So she gets off the phone with the radiologist and she says, you have 2 spots. One is a simple cyst. It's very common. The other is either a fibroadenoma, which is a benign tumor, or it could be and then she like stumbled on the name. Like she forgot the name that the radiologist said of what it could be. I was like, okay, probably should have written that down. But moving on, I was like, is the second thing a benign tumor as well? And she was like, no, the second thing wouldn't be benign. So I instantly just became like riddled with anxiety. So I said, okay, how do we know which one exactly it is? And she was like, well, we can't do a biopsy unless it's 3.5 centimeters and yours is only 2.5 centimeters. So basically just come back in 6 months and see if it grows. And I was just genuinely shocked that that was the solution. It just didn't seem right to me. So I was like, wait, I'm supposed to just go home, wait 6 months to see if it grows. And if it does, basically I've just been sitting around for 6 months while something has been progressing in my body. And she was like, yeah, we just can't tell you for sure what it is. So I left and I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, this just can't be the answer. Like, I can't take this for an answer. I know what that would do to my anxiety, and I'm not going to let myself spiral for 6 months, not knowing what's going on in my body. That part was just an overall really bad experience that sent me into like another level of anxiety. I don't know if that's how they do it everywhere, but I was just shocked at like the delivery and then what their recommendation was. It was just very weird, very unsettling. So I decided I was going to reach out to the gynecologist, let her know what happened, and ask her if I could be referred to another doctor or a specialist, somebody that could give me a better answer. So a few days later, I hear back from the gynecologist and she said, it does look like all the characteristics of a fibroadenoma, but again, she can't say for sure. She was like, I'll give you a referral to a breast specialist and you can go from there. They'll probably want to do a mammogram. So I spent days trying to get an appointment with the breast specialist. And at first they're like, oh, we don't know. We have to look at your results and then see if we can take you. The doctor's only doing breast surgeries right now. And I completely get that. Like, that takes priority. But meanwhile, I was just sitting kind of like, again, spiraling. So I think about a week later of being down in the dumps, I go see the breast specialist. And I was really actually looking forward to this appointment because I was like, they're going to be able to tell me exactly what it is. And she basically tells me the same thing, that it does look like a fibroadenoma, but we just can't tell you for sure. And she completely understood like where I was coming from. I was like, I just can't sit here knowing that there's something in my chest, not knowing what it is, and just waiting 6 months to see if it grows. So she was like, let's do a mammogram and go from there. So this particular doctor spent a lot of time with me. She was a gem. We talked about my explant. She did a breast exam. She said she could feel something on this side. And she was like, once we get the mammogram, we'll compare both and just give you our best answer. So at that point, I kind of started to realize that I probably am not going to know for sure what this thing is. So about a week later, I go to get my mammogram done, which by the way is very uncomfortable. They literally stick your breast in between like 2 plates and squeeze it at like as much as they can. I literally was like, I don't know how I would have done this with implants. So after I did the mammogram, I sat outside with my mom while they read the results. So the tech comes out and says, everything looks good. It does look like it has all the characteristics of a fibroadenoma, which I was like, okay, I've heard this before. Or it could possibly be something from your explant. We just don't know for sure without a biopsy, but we can't do one because it's not big enough and it might end up doing more harm. A 6-month follow-up is recommended. I was like, you know, okay, like I have to take this as an answer. Of course, I was grateful because if there was something, I think they would have been able to like definitely tell. And you might be watching this thinking like, why don't you just take their word for it? They're doctors. And the reason for that is there's just so many instances of medical errors where things are overlooked, things being missed on imaging, things being wrongfully diagnosed. And I just want to make sure that I cover all of my bases so that I'm not just sitting here with something progressing in my body when I could have been doing something about it. And I just believe that you need to advocate for yourself. If something medically doesn't feel right to you and you feel like you need more clarification or you need more answers or you want a different opinion, and you can, by all means do it. You know, I could have easily been like, all right, see ya, I'll come back in 6 months, but that didn't sit right with me. I feel like to them, it's just another patient who needs a 6-month follow-up, but to me, it's like a bigger deal because I'm the one who's going to be worrying about it and thinking about it every day and just sitting here not knowing what's going on. So that was that. I feel like I did what I needed to do for myself. I got as much clarification as I could, and the next step for me is just going back in 6 months and just hope and pray that it is the benign tumor they're talking about. But I feel a whole lot better than I did just going to my first appointment, and I know that just stopping at that first appointment was not going to be good for me. So I am sitting outside getting some sun right now because I feel like I am just not alive without the sun. There was not a lot of sun in February. Most of the days were very gloomy. I mean, the sun, I didn't see the sun for like days at a time. So I feel like that added to my very poor mood. Anyways, I like to come out at least once a day and just get some sun, preferably in the morning because I feel like it's a little bit less harsh. It just really makes me feel so good. I feel like it wakes me up and like I can get my day started. I know getting sunlight in the morning helps with your circadian rhythm. One of the issues I was having all last month and flowing into this month is I have not been able to sleep. Ever since my first ultrasound, I have not been able to sleep. So I just haven't really felt like well rested, but I did have one good day of sleep 2 days ago. So I'm on the mend. I I was reminded what stress does to your body because I had my ultrasound, my very first appointment. In the middle of the night, I woke up with a huge bump on my nose. I didn't know what it was at first, but in the morning I realized that it was a cold sore. And if you get cold sores, you know that they're basically stress sores. They come out when your body is stressed. So that first day that I got the ultrasound, I didn't even think I was overly stressed, but it's like subconsciously my body just knew that I was like in fight or flight mode. And 12 hours later, I break out with a cold sore right on my nose, which I've never gotten one on my nose. I usually always get them in the mouth area. But if you get cold sores, you know that like, it's just disgusting. Like there's no other way to put it other than you just feel really gross. You can't like touch your face or anything. So it's kind of like, you feel like you can't properly wash your face. It just always feels very like, but I was like, great, I'm like already feeling really crappy. Now I have this huge, ugly, nasty cold sore in the middle of my face. So like I wasn't seeing anyone because I think they're also contagious. And I just felt so disgusting. And I obviously like couldn't film anything because I didn't want to film anything with a big cold sore on my face. So yeah, that was another setback. Anytime I'm sad, Rusty always makes me feel better. I swear, like I can be crying and he will come paw at me or lay by me. Like he just knows whenever I'm not feeling good. I know. Also, if you know me, you know this dog is my heart and soul. He's literally my best friend and he just turned 7 last week. So I was just in my feels about it. Big dogs don't really live as long as little dogs do, and you just never know like when it's gonna be your last day with them. So I just always try to appreciate every day with him.
So basically for 3 weeks, I was just a big mess, going through a roller coaster of emotions. It was like a dark cloud was hanging over me because I didn't know really what was going on and I couldn't get like a straight answer. But one of the things I like to do to get out of a rut is to just walk. Walking is so underestimated. It makes me feel so much better. Like I automatically feel in a better mood. And since I'm on my laptop working and then I'm on my phone and watching TV, when I'm on my walks, I try not to be on my phone. I just want it as a time where I'm like not consuming any content, just walking, getting fresh air, and just being present in the moment. And once I get back into the routine of walking every evening, then I feel like I can't go without it. And it just helps you get into a rhythm of going every day. Because I've been so inactive for the past month, I'm not gonna just go straight to the gym and lift weights. I'm gonna start off doing my walks and then I'll probably go inside and like stretch or do some floor exercises and ease my way in. So windy and it's about to rain, so not the ideal time, but still getting my steps in.
I am putting some clothes away because, as you can probably relate to, when you are going through a tough time, sometimes piles can accumulate. Piles have accumulated. As you can see right here, I have a pile of clothes, and then in this corner right here, I have like packages and some other things that I need to make videos on, and just like things that I bought at Home Goods a month ago. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that in 2021 I had a missed miscarriage and it happened in February. So February is just not the best month for me already. I actually have a YouTube video on it about what happened from start to finish that I posted like a couple months after it happened. But if you don't know what a missed miscarriage is, it's basically when you're pregnant and then the baby unfortunately passes, except you don't know that the baby has passed because you may or may not still have pregnancy symptoms and nothing has expelled yet. So basically you're carrying on as if you're still pregnant, but actually your baby has passed. So yeah, this time of the year kind of brings up those emotions for me. It was a very long, drawn out, traumatizing period of time, and it just feels really cruel. There's like no other way to put it other than it just feels cruel. So, but yeah, nothing much I can do about that other than just go through the emotions. But I want to talk about some other really simple things that I'm doing to try to get out of a rut that you can do too. So one of the biggest things is tapping into your creative outlet. So whatever you do as your creative outlet, whether that's adult coloring books, painting, sewing, whatever it is, start doing it. It is so helpful to distract your mind and get you thinking about something else. For me, that's creating content. So I got back to making TikToks and planning out my next YouTube videos. Another really good thing is tackling small projects around your house. So most of us have like a list of things that we need to get done, whether it's washing your makeup brushes, cleaning the pantry, organizing the cabinets under the sinks, cleaning this room. Organizing and cleaning and crossing something off your list is going to make you feel really accomplished and just make you feel good. Another really big thing is saying what you're grateful for. It could be writing it down in a journal or saying it while you're praying or meditating, but just listing things that you're grateful for and things that are going good for you can really help to put things in perspective and can kind of help you snap out of it. And the last thing is socializing. If you're like me and you work from home and you like to be at home, then you're probably not getting a whole lot of human interaction, and that can make you feel a little isolated. So reach out to your friends. You'd be surprised of what one day of hanging out with your friends or going out to dinner could do for your mood. Even just reaching out to a friend and talking to them about how you're feeling can make you feel better. And you never know, they might be like, I'm in a slump too. So reach out to your friends. I'm going to be putting in extra effort myself to reach out to my friends and make plans. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. There was even more that happened in addition to what I talked about, but I think that's enough dumping for now. I hope there was at least one thing in this video that could help you or that you could relate to. I know for me, it even feels better just voicing it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video.